Hey there, Sam Bisnick here, Release Muscle Therapy, and in today's video, I'm going to do a review here of the MERACH NovaRow R50, which is a new rower that is available. And this rower, as you can see, looks very similar to one that's currently out there. It's been around for a while, called the Concept 2 rower, which a lot of people are familiar with. There's some subtle differences between these two pieces of equipment, so I'm going to talk about that and also some general features of the product here, as well as my thoughts. So let's dive in. So first and foremost, this is a really easy piece of equipment to put together. Came in a pretty good sized box that was quite heavy, but it's already for the most part pre-assembled. So it took about 18 minutes to put the whole thing together, and the biggest challenge out of the whole thing was just getting it out of the packaging box. But once it's out of there, you only have to put together a few screws to get the thing sorted out. So totally a piece of cake. Even a complete novice when it comes to putting together fitness equipment can do that. So once it's together, this is the end result of what you got. And there's a couple of key features out of this kind of a rower that are really, really important to know. Now, previously on my YouTube channel, I had reviewed the MERACH magnetic rower, and I really like this rower for a couple of good reasons, but the number one key reason is it is ultra quiet. So if you live in a space where perhaps you're in an apartment or a condo or something like that, or an area where you need to have a lot of quiet exercise time, the magnetic rower is going to be a great option. The pitfall of it is it's not really built for a lot of resistance rowing. So if you're doing something where you're doing sprints and intervals and so forth at a high level, then that rower is not going to be a great option for you. The second thing is the length of the actual unit. I am 6'3", so the stroke distance of the row is going to be really, really long. So the magnetic rower is pretty short, and I had a hard time completely locking my knees out. So this rower right off the bat is going to be something that you're interested in because of the length in the machine and of course the resistance. So let's talk real quick about the resistance. As usual with a lot of these types of rowers, which are fan-based, there's about 32-ish blades inside of here. The harder you pull, the more resistance it's going to give you. And in this case, the MERACH gives you about 110 pounds of resistance at its top level. You do have the ability to increase your resistance here. There's just with a quick slide dial here, you can go all the way up to a level 10, and down the lowest is going to be the number 1. So there is plenty of resistance, very similar to the Concept 2 rower if you're already familiar with it. So pretty much the same design and offering when it comes to that. So the other feature that is going to be dramatically different, which I do like with this rower a lot, is when it comes to the foot pads. Okay, so these foot pads, you can push them, slide them down to adjust for the length of the foot, which is pretty similar to the Concept 2. But one of the things that I did not like is the straps that come on the Concept 2. It's a very thin strap, and it has like a plastic piece on it that you will pull to tension them. And then when you're doing a release, when you take your foot out, you just pull up on it and you slide your foot out. It can be uncomfortable, especially if you have sensitivity on the top of the foot. Now, MERACH's offer here is this much thicker type of band, and it is Velcro based. So number one, it's a little easier to deal with. Okay, so if I pull across here, you can see there's a big hook that's available to stick my fingers inside of, and you can see the width of the Velcro here. So all I have to do is just pull on this to get the tension that I want, and then just lay it straight over. So when you are rowing, you will feel a little bit more of that force is dispersed throughout the top of the foot and the toes here, the bottom end of them, and it feels a bit more comfortable than having that very small strip. Now again, some people, if you read about this, will prefer one version or the other. I like this one much more, and a lot easier to just pull on that Velcro and slide the foot right out. So that is one key feature that is important. Now another key feature is the pad. There are a lot of people in my line of work, I work with a lot of people dealing with all sorts of chronic aches and pains, that when they sit on a hard surface, especially when their spine is set in a little bit of flexion, it can cause discomfort. Now the challenge with that is, of course, is that rowing, to get a good cardiovascular benefit, if you're not doing just straight interval training, you're going to be on the machine anywhere from 10 minutes, maybe up to 20 minutes, sometimes longer. And sitting on a hard surface for that long can be very uncomfortable. So MERACH has a different type of seat cushion here. The material itself is similar to the Concept 2, but it is much squishier. Okay, so this is a lot more comfortable to sit on, especially I find for longer periods of rowing. So it is a really, really good option. Okay. Now, when it comes to smoothness of operation and so forth, again, almost identical to the concept to rower. So I'm just going to show you this here. It's pretty much set up for me, although the settings might not be completely perfect. So I'm going to pull that in, okay, and then wrap it right around. So I'm pretty much good to go there. That feels comfortable. And again, just for reference, I'm 6'3", so I can extend all the way back and I still got extra room to spare. So it's going to be accommodating for rowers that are even taller than me. So as we start off here, grab onto this guy. Of course, it's got its anchor right there for the handle. The control console, which we'll talk about in a second, starts up for you. And as we start to row, you can hear the fan doing its thing. Okay. So again, a very important key point here is that if you're looking for a super silent rower, this is not going to be the option for you. You're going to want to go with the magnetic version. But if you're just straight looking for performance, intervals, length of the stride for your height, this is the way to go. And you can hear fan moving. It's really smooth. Okay, so it's really, really well built. Okay. We have the option when we're rowing, as usual, flexibility in there to go low, middle, and high. Okay. The harder I pull, the more resistance I'm going to get. Okay. So it's really built to be able to take a little bit of abuse if you're an aggressive rower. Okay, another feature I want to talk about real quick here is that there is no plug to this, as opposed to the magnetic rower, which needs to be plugged in. This one here does not need a plug. It is fan-based, so you can put it wherever you want. Okay, the second thing is, when it comes to putting it wherever you want, is that you can actually fold this guy up. So if I move that over there for a second, I know it's going to slide back at me here. There's a little latch right here. So if I pull up on it, then I'm going to be able to separate the machine. Okay, so you can see right here, I can go just like that. So if you need to get this thing out of the way, very easy. It's got wheels on the side. Lift it, roll it right up into the corner, and it'll be out of your way. Nice little feature for this guy, easy to store and get out of your way. Let's take a look at the console to see what the differences are there. Okay, so when we look at the monitor here, it's all the classics that we're used to seeing here. So when we turn this guy on, then we're going to have options for manual settings and adding levels and so forth. We have our different modes. You see here that it's going to toggle between manual, interval, target time, distance, calories, pulse, strokes, watts, all that kind of stuff. So all those standard settings. Pretty simple to operate here, really easy to set this up, and of course has those on and off switches here. When we start to row, it just starts on its own. We have Bluetooth capability here because what I'm going to show you here in a moment is the app, which is a nice little feature of a lot of updated exercise equipment these days. So let's take a look at that as well. There is a QR code essentially that you can get access to when you buy your rower. Download it and then it will sync to your rower, and here on the home page we have all of the kind of essentials. You could track your calories, duration, distance, pretty much everything that comes directly from your panel, and also you can set the amount of days, calendar, and go through all of your specific data in terms of your rowing. So neat little app with just the essentials here to track your workouts. Some additional things that you've got over here in the train section. There's a lot of cool stuff to cycle through here. One of the coolest things that I found, which I'll be using a lot and recommending, is the challenges. So you can do these challenges and post your results, and you can compare with other users. Now, if you're a highly competitive person like I am, you'll love this feature here because then you can see where you rank or rate according to other users and push yourself to achieve some of these challenges. So other options here, you can actually, as you scroll through here, you could set up some of these scenarios here where you essentially get to row according to something like this, like the Seine River or whatever, and go around in the map mode. So there's a bunch of cool little things that you can do to keep yourself entertained and to challenge yourself while you're doing your workouts. Up here we have a coaching function as well. There's different types of classes or advanced rowing workouts and so forth that you can do as well. So again, are nice little neat features. Some free train, you could just set this up, turn it up, and just set some of your target, whether that's how much burning of calories you want, timed practice target, and just free training as well. So the app is a nice little feature as well. There is a pro version as well as you like, but plenty of features if you don't. So be sure to check that one out as well, which is awesome over just setting up a rower and just having at it. A nice little way to stay engaged and to challenge yourself. So as you can see, the MERACH NovaRow R50 is very comparable when it comes to side-by-side comparison to the Concept 2 rower. One thing that I did not mention out of all the actual physical features of the device is actually the price. This machine clocks in at approximately half of the Concept 2 rower. So if you're looking for a great rower that is an alternative to the Concept 2 and about half the price, budget friendly, this one is the way to go. So I do highly recommend this device. I'm going to be using this a lot in my practice and recommending it. I'm really highly impressed with it, and I hope you'll take a look at it. So if you enjoy this video, please, of course, as always, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, comment down below any questions you might have or recommendations for additional videos that you'd like to see. Sam Isnick here. Thanks for watching.